If they like coffee, that's probably about it. That's a really lame answer.
Well, yeah, I do ask them if they've done this before, because sometimes there's people who are doing this for the first time, and then they start living with you, and then they're just not comfortable with the entire idea of sharing, you know, an apartment with someone, and then the next week they bail out and they say, sorry, we can't do this anymore.
If they were studying or working, the age.
Just, I guess, what they do and their kind of general, like, kind of gauge their general attitude to see how you vibe with them.
How they divide, say, all of the housework and things like that, and if they plan on having like people over, like if they've got a partner or something like that.
Also, whether they would oppose to being to people coming to film YouTube videos and stuff.
If they like to drink, going out, so we can go somewhere, cooking. Mostly they have to be friendly.
Okay, then I look to see that they're clean and tidy. They don't seem to want to ask silly questions, or they seem to want to ask, what about light bulbs, or, you know, little things that shouldn't be a problem.
How long they've been living out of home for. The last thing you want to do is doing people's washing for them. So one thing I found quite an important question when we did the interviews was whether they had a boyfriend or a girlfriend or not.
Confirming the price that you saw on the rental, always trying to see if you could negotiate something with that, and then seeing really what bills are included, because sometimes it's Wi-Fi and sometimes it's not, sometimes it's electricity, and it's all over the shop.
What sort of history they've got. The line of business that I'm in, I have a certain security clearance, and I generally ask people that whether they've got any sort of bad history that I should be aware of. I also ask them, you know, what do they like to do, what sort of hobbies they've got, what do they do in their spare time.
It was more of a conversation, which I really liked. We actually ended up chatting about all kinds of random things that were completely unrelated for quite a while. So, and just in that conversation things came out, like things that I was going to ask but didn't, they just talked about.
You kind of just tend to have a bit of a conversation and try and get a bit of feel for what they were like. I think it's really important to get all of that formalities out of the way first, because obviously that stuff's really important, but, you know, not necessarily the most important. So